welcome back. It's Lisa from Critters'n Ink Designs in Ontario, Canada. Thanks so much for joining me today. If you're new to my channel, my name is Lisa Tabor and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Ontario, Canada. And if you're not new to my channel, thanks for coming. So today I'm going to do, let me just switch down to my desk here. Today I'm going to do what month is this? August Paper Pumpkin. And it came a couple of days ago, but I've been silly busy, so I haven't been able to get at it. So let's just open it up. And all right, so the ink spot this month is Pretty Peacock. And the regular stamp that comes with the set is, let me find something white. What's blue? But so there's flowers and like I think that's a lily pad, I'm not sure. And it says, "You are capable of amazing things. You're above the rest. Your friendship is unforgettable." And then on this one, it's like a lily, a pond lily, I think. And it's one of those distinctive stamps where you get a lot of detail. So I'm anxious to try that one out. So this one is called Meaningful Flowers. So let's open her up and see what we have here. Let's see what we have. We have Stampin' Dimensionals, plus some little clear, looks like clear epoxy dots. They're very clear, like raindrops or something, water drops. And we have some tear and tape and a little bit of linen thread. And oh, look at the envelopes. These are gorgeous, gorgeous. And they're colored all the way in. You can't really see, but really, really pretty. Okay, so we've got our envelopes. And so we have our lotus, it says lotus flower, strength, resilience, wisdom. Long revered in cultures around the world, the lotus flower is beautiful, strong, and pure. As the sun rises, the lotus flower emerges from dark, murky water with a miraculously clean flower. At day's end, it closes and descends back into the water, ready to repeat the process the next day. I didn't know that. So this is, yeah, so this one would be Misty Moonlight. That's really pretty. So we have 4 of those. And then we have these, which I'm assuming go on here. And then we have 4 of these, yeah, 4 of the forget-me-not flowers. Small and delicate forget-me-nots remind us to never forget the people that we love. When you give someone these sky blue flowers with yellow centers, it represents a promise that you will always remember them. It also represents your hope that they will always remember you. Beautiful. And then we have these lotus flowers that punch out. Some banners. Some forget-me-nots. Oh, these are vellum. And some vellum ponds. Cool. On our cardboard. Okay. All right, so let's make some room here. So I'm going to grab my large Pretty Peacock. I like to save my little ones for traveling. Okay, so for our first one, we will need one of our yellow card bases, plus a flower, and a banner. All right, so let's see, card number 1. So for card number 1, we're going to stamp. It says, "Your friendship is unforgettable." Now, because this is a new stamp, I'm going to give it a quick clean. I just find it stamps a little bit better if you give it a quick clean before you stamp with it. Because it's photopolymer, I'm going to stamp on my Stampin' Pierce mat. So let's give it a quick test to see how well it's going to stamp out. Beautiful. There. Okay, your friendship is unforgettable. Well, that's a pretty easy card. So we need some of our twine, and it says here to cut 8 inches. So let's go ahead and cut 8 inches. And because paper pumpkins are only available in North America, these kits don't have the centimeters, but when you buy a kit in the kit section of the online store, the it comes with inches and centimeters. So we need 8 inches, so that's about there. Okay, and just going to tie a bow. It says to put a piece of tear and tape along your banner. And stick your bow to it. Because it works better if you take the paper backing off. There we are. That's going to go kind of like that. And then pop a couple of dimensionals on here. I'm crazy about this bow here. So that's the top. All right, let's try that again. And a couple of dimensionals on the back of our flower. This is really cute. There we are. And then we'll pop this up here. Straight is better. And that's your first card. Pretty easy. So it did come with some bling, and it doesn't show in the instructions to put any bling on it, but what card is complete without bling? None that I know of. So I've got my take your pick tool, and I'm just going to pop a few of these around to give it some dimension. There. And I guess you could write your little love whatever on there. So that's card number 1. So let's have a look at card number 2. So for card number 2, let's get some of this out of here. Card number 2, we need one of these, one of these, and a card base. Okay, so let's see. With this one, we're going to be stamping onto the leaf of the lily. I guess it's not a lily. What is this thing called? A lotus flower. Silly me, and here's me calling it a lily. Okay, so let me grab another block. And this time we're going to use "You Are Capable of Amazing Things." If I could find my stamps. There we are. So you are capable of amazing things. So again, I'm going to give it a little bit of a clean with my chamois here. So your chamois doesn't come in a case like this, but these cases are available to order in the annual catalog, and they're handy for a lot of things. I keep my colored pencils in it. I keep some bling in there. They're very handy. They come in packages of 4, and they're not expensive at all. So let's just test that. That's beautiful. So let's line that up. Beautiful. And let's see. All right, so we're going to put some tear and tape on the back of the vellum, just along the edge. I was with a new customer the other day, and we were just going over a few things, and she found dealing with the tear and tape awkward. So I kind of grip it with my thumb, and that way I totally have control over where the tear and tape is going to go. Okay, hopefully that'll help somebody out there. So let's peel off the backing of the tear and tape. Now in the store, in the Stampin' Up! Catalog, you can only get the 1/4 inch tear and tape. But every so often we get a little package of the 1/8 tear and tape in a kit. And it would be lovely for any of those Stampin' Up! People who might cross my path if we had the option to purchase the 1/8 inch, because it's great. There, so we've created kind of a little pocket. And I'm guessing that this just sits in the little pocket like that. That's kind of neat. Okay, so this is going to go on dimensionals. Make sure you put it right way up. And then this is just going to sit centered. Oops. On your card like that. And of course we need some bling. So this looks like little water droplets. Let's see some of the bigger ones. That's really cute. So on the inside, although it doesn't say to stamp anything on the inside, I would never just hand over a blank card with nothing stamped on the inside. And we do have these beautiful bonus lotus stamps. So let me grab some other colors. So let's see what the coordinating colors are again. Crushed curry, melon mambo. I'm gonna grab some bubble bath. Melon mambo, crushed curry. And I'm going to take a new one for the bubble bath because that's a color I haven't used yet. I'm gonna grab my D block. Now the D block is the size of block that you get when you subscribe to Paper Pumpkin the first time. And again, I'm just going to clean my stamp here. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to stamp the lily pad in just the bubble bath, and let's see what it looks like. Oh, that's pretty. So I'm going to stamp it again in the bubble bath. Then I'm going to take the melon mambo and I'm just going to go around the bottom a little. See what that looks like. Well, that's really pretty. I think it was a little heavy-handed with the melon mambo, but that's okay. So let's do that again. I'm going to clean it. And the reason I'm cleaning it is because I don't want to get any melon mambo onto my bubble bath. So let me give it a clean. And then, so I've got my bubble bath and my melon mambo. My bubble bath is very juicy. Okay, I'm going to take my melon mambo and I'm just going to go a little less heavy-handed. I'm just going to go around the edges. And I'm going to pop some crushed curry right in the middle. Okay. I'm not going to test this one. I'm just going to go with my faith and just let it rip. Oh, that's pretty. It looks like watercolor. So there's the inside of my card. And I have lots of room to write a note if I want to. So that's the second card in the kit. And as I said in the beginning, these card bases have a lot of potential. I'm getting ink all over everything. So let's clean up our stamps so we don't transfer ink onto anything. All right, so let's put these over here. And let's look at the alternatives. So let's have a look. So it looks like on this one, they've taken the card base. Let me grab another one here. So they've taken the card base. Okay, so Orchid Oasis is one of the in colors from last year's selection. So it's going to be around until 2024. So I'm going to score this. I have 8.5 by 11. I'm going to score it at 4 1/4. And then I'm going to cut it at 5.5. And this will give me 2 card bases. There, so now I have 2 card bases. And I could take this one. You see how well coordinated that is? This is our cardstock, and this is from the kit, and it's dead on perfect. So I'm going to trim this one at 4 by 5 1/4. So let me trim this at 4. Get up here so you can see. So 4, no, 5 1/4 for this side. Wake up, girl. 5 1/4 by 4. There. Okay, so let's see. So here's our card base. I'm going to pop this onto here. And we also need one of the forget-me-not flowers. So let me grab my trimmer again, and I'm going to just trim this right off. Oh, let me flip it this way because I want it at 4 1/4. Oh, it's not even going to. It's going to be 4. So that's fine. I just want to make sure it's going to be small enough. So let's see. Very cute. All right, so let me take my Orchid Oasis ink. Okay, I've got my Orchid Oasis ink, and it looks like they've used the little flowers from the stamp set. These little flowers here. So let me grab another block. I'm going to quickly clean this. And let's do a test stamp to see what it's going to look like. These little flowers are sweet. Oh, beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to just randomly stamp. I should do it on here. Randomly stamp these flowers. Like that. I think that's pretty good. Let's see. Could have gone a little higher. I think I might just squeak one up here. This is going to be covered anyway. All right, let's see what that looks like. Oh, that looks fine. Beautiful. So I'm going to pop that up on dimensionals. I'm going to pop one in the center as well. These are really cute. I love that little floral. I keep saying I'm going to get a little dish for these dimensional little things, and I never do. You know what? I think I'm going to pop one more floral just on the bottom here, as this part shows a bit. See what that looks like. One more. This is how my brain works. There. Okay, so this is going to sit here. And in that case, I could actually almost put more flowers here. So when I'm processing this, the first time doesn't always go according to Hoyle, but close enough, close enough. If I was going to do this one again, which I probably will, I would have put the flowers further out. That's okay, it looks fine. And In fact, I think I'll bring this in a little closer so that you get more of the floral. There. I think that looks pretty good. And so then I've got my Orchid Oasis background. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this to my background here. So there. Cute. Okay, now we need a sentiment. And I'm just going to take a scrap of basic white that I have laying around here. Here's a piece right here. And say, your friendship is unforgettable. And take my mini little trimmer here. It's pretty straight, and I'm just going to chop. Let's see how straight that is. So what I'm doing to make sure that my lines are even is I'm just lining the raw edge of this cut here on a straight line. And then that way they'll both be the same angle when you glue it. All right, so let's pop this up on dimensionals, and it looks like it's got a piece of twine behind the sentiment here. So I'm just running my nail on the twine to get it flat because it gets quite curly when it's on those spools. And I'm just going to take a little piece of tearing tape. What did I do with that? And put a piece of tearing tape here. And then I'm just going to have my twine going in loops like this. This is pretty loopy, but that's okay. Oh, where's my card? Oh, here. And then this can go like this. Because this is already up on dimensionals, I'm only going to put a dimensional on this corner. And a bit of glue on this corner. So this will bring this edge up to the same level as the piece that's on dimensionals, and this will anchor it into place. And there we have. So there's our first alternative. That is really, really cute. So let's find those enamel dots are here somewhere. There we are. All right, so let's pop a couple of those on here. Where will we put that? Right there. Isn't that sweet? So that's our first alternative. All right, so for our next alternate, let's do this card here. So to do that, I've already done a prototype. Well, actually, I did two. And I couldn't decide which one I liked better, like with this one on dimensionals or with this panel on dimensionals. But I think I kind of like this, but this is a little bit on the bland side. So I'm going to try something different this time. So to do this, I need a card base, and I'm using pecan pie. And I'm also using some designer series paper called Glorious Gingham. And it is all of the new core colors. So there's Berry Burst, Blueberry Bushel, Lemon Lime Twist, Pecan Pie, and Pretty Peacock. Aren't they beautiful? And there's Pretty Peacock there. And Lemon Lime Twist and Blueberry Bushel. And we also have a piece of basic white that I'm going to, oh, it is trimmed. Okay, so this one is 3 3/4 by 5, and it's going to sit on top of here. And then I have one for the inside, which is 4 by 5 1/4. And I also have a piece of crumb cake, which is 3 1/2 by 3 1/2, and a scrap of basic white to do our little flowers on. So let's get this stuff out of the way. The first thing I'm going to do is just create my card base. So my card base is a piece of pecan pie that is 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, and it's scored at 4 1/4. And my piece of gingham is 4 by 5 1/4. And on this one, I used this side. And I think I actually like this side better. It's not as busy. I don't do busy very well. It gives me the heebie-jeebies. So I'm just going to just glue this directly down onto my card base, and then the card base is done. And then we can work on the elements of the card. So I'm going to set that aside, and then we are going to concentrate on, is this a smaller one? Yeah. We're going to concentrate on the front of the card. So the first thing I'm going to do is grab my pool party and a block. And I'm just going to ink up my block. And I have my blending brush here. I'm just going to pick up the ink. And I'm just going to color the inside, sort of just to give a shadow of the pool party on here. That's really pretty. There, very pretty. And I'm going to take where did I put those? My Stylish Shapes dies. These have to be one of my favorite sets of dies. Now, as I said, I haven't opened my pre-order yet. Well, I opened it, but I haven't really looked at it. And in there is a new product coming out called Deckled Circle Dies. So I don't know if you remember the deckled rectangles. I've used them quite a few times. But now they come in circles, and if I'm not mistaken, there's like 14 circles. So pretty cool. So let me grab the second largest circle, and I'm just going to cut that out. Actually, I think I'm going to put a little bit more blue on there because it looks like I'm cutting out most of the blue here. All right, so I'm going to just cut out a circle right about there. All right. So I can still see some of the blue, but I think I kind of feel like I need a little bit more blue on there. So let me just grab my Pool Party ink again and add a little bit more ink. Not a lot, just a little. There, I think that's better. A little bit more color. Okay. So the next thing I want to do is I'm going to stamp my sentiment using pecan pie on the pecan pie paper. So I used on the last one, you are capable of amazing things. So let's go ahead and use that one. And I'm going to stamp that right in the middle. Let's see if I can get that straight. There. It's not perfectly centered, but I can live with it. And I think just for interest's sake, like I thought these were kind of, I kind of felt like this needed a little bit of something. So I'm going to take the flower and I'm just going to stamp a few flowers in the corner in the pecan pie as well. It's a nice light flower, so I don't think that it's going to be overwhelming. There, let's see what that looks like. I think that looks better. It's not so blah. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so this part is done. And I need my card base. So I need to figure out where I'm going to put this, because this is going to be on dimensionals. So that looks pretty good. And I'm just going to draw a little pencil line so that I know where I'm going to put it once I get the glue on it, because with my luck, I'd put it up here somewhere. So let's go ahead and glue this guy down. And I don't need a lot of glue because it isn't really going anywhere. So I've got that centered, and there's my pencil line. It's a smidgen crooked, so I'm just going to straighten that out a little. Does that look okay? Yeah, that looks great. Okay, so then I'm going to put this on dimensionals. I could pop one in the middle here as well. This is so cute. I'm so excited about next month's Paper Pumpkin. I did open my pre-order. I took a break, and while I was on my break, I did open my pre-order. And I pre-ordered the add-on for next month's Paper Pumpkin. And it is a journal, and it's absolutely beautiful. I'll show that to you at the end of this. Oh, that looks really nice. But you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to stamp my lily pads. So let's see if we can pull this off. So I want to stamp my lily pads on here. That looks okay. It's going to be mostly covered up anyhow, but yeah, phew, saved. Okay. So that's good, and I can just put the stem. I debated whether to use the stem, but since they used it in their sample, I'll use mine. So stem, stem. All right. Okay, so that's done. So let's set this aside, and what we need to do now is stamp our lotus flowers. So let's get that out of here. And this time I'm going to use the small one. And like I did before, I'm going to stamp it in the bubble bath, and then I'm going to just do a little bit of crushed curry in the center. So I've got bubble bath on there, and I'm going to take a dauber and just put a little hint of crushed curry in the middle there. So let's see what we get. Oh, beautiful. Look how pretty that is. So one thing you do want to remember when you're doing double colors on your stamps is to make sure that you clean your stamp in between flowers, because you don't want to transfer that crushed curry onto the bubble bath, because once it's in your pad, it's in there and it will transfer to your other stamps that you don't necessarily want crushed curry on. So yeah, just keep that in mind. All right, so now I went ahead and I did a couple, and I pre-cut them out, and I'm going to pop these guys on dimensionals as well. I figured you didn't need to sit and watch me cut out flowers ad nauseum. It's kind of like watching paint dry. So I just fussy cut them out with my scissors. If you don't have a pair of these paper snips, I just want to tell you, they are the best. They're so sharp. Oh, look how cute that is. And then this is going to go here. Oh, that is so pretty. Beautiful. I think I'm going to pop some Wink of Stella on that. I need to order a couple of new winkers. Getting a little bit dry. Now you can give it a little squeeze. I just don't want to end up with a big bubble, whoop, like that. A big bubble of Wink of Stella like I have here. I have a big puddle here, which I don't want. There. So if you do give your winker a squeeze, make sure you do it over a piece of paper so that you don't have a big blob of gold sparkle on your flowers. But look at that. You can see the glimmer. Isn't that pretty? And as always, we need some bling. So I still have some of these left. And I've got my take your pick tool. There. Isn't that pretty? Beautiful. All right, so for our last alternative, we're going to be making one of these cute little bags. So for this one, I'm using a piece of designer series paper that is 6 by 7.5, so 6 high and 7.5 inch wide. And this particular one, well, actually both of these come from the, I think it's called Delightfully Eclectic. Let me have a look. Delightfully Eclectic 12 by 12. There's some beautiful papers in here. Now this one coordinates with the inked and tiled punches. You can see I've punched out a couple things, and that's the back of it. It's like a ledger almost. And then we have this swan one, and the back is the smaller little X's there. And this one is very cute, the little tulips and a yellow dot on there. And then we have this pink stripe, and this is the back of it, this floral. And then we have like pretzels on this side and a beautiful colored stripe on this side. I'm not going to go through all of them, but here's a keyboard here and little hearts on this side and daisies, and then with little lemons. Is that the back? Yeah. So this is the back of the daisy one. It's really pretty. This is a huge package paper. And then we have this, I don't know what that is. To me, this looks like an old design on one of those sort of velvet couches that you would have got in the 70s or something. That's what that reminds me of. And then this comes with like a ledger as well, paper on the other side. And then this one has little strawberries on Calypso coral, and then this is the other side. I guess I am going through all of them. Okay. And then we have these little flowers with this gold and white dot on the other side. And then these purple flowers with little black and white horseshoes on. It's really cute. So those are those, and it's in the, these are in the annual catalog. So let's get that out of the way. And I'm going to score my paper here. So let me grab my Simply Scored tool. So on the long side, I'm going to score at 2.5. And I'm using my smaller ball. And because this is designer series paper, you don't want to press really hard. So I'm going to score at 2.5, 3.5, 6, and 7. Okay, so 2.5, 3.5, 6, and 7. And I'm going to rotate it once so that I have my short side at the top, and I need a 1-inch score line down. And because this is 6 inches wide, I'm going to score at 5. Okay. So that's all the scoring that we need to do on that. And I also need a piece of designer series paper that is 2 by 3 inches and a piece of basic white that is 1 3/4 by 2 3/4. Alrighty. First things first, let's fold all of our score lines. All right, so I've got all of my score lines are folded. And this is the side where I've got this little rectangle here, and I'm going to just chop that right off. So this little corner is coming off. So I'm going to cut right up the score line. I can see it in this glare. And then on this little piece here, that's the flap that we're going to put the glue on. I'm just going to miter that slightly, and I'll miter the top corner slightly as well, so that we don't have any corners peeking out when we glue our box together. So down here, I have a score line, score line, score line. So I'm going to take my scissors. I'm going to cut on the score line right to that first 1-inch score line that we have here. Okay. And that's going to give me the flaps that we need to create our little box. So I'm going to cut to the score line and to the score line. So now I'm going to fold up these larger ones to get them out of the way. I wonder if I should put something white under here. Are you having trouble seeing that? Put this here. There, is that better? Yes, much better. And I'm going to just slightly miter these smaller blocks so that they don't sort of stick out when I'm gluing them as well. There, that's the whole thing. So easy. So you can see where I've mitered these little pieces here and then this side piece here. Okay, so I'm going to put some tear and tape along this little tab here because that's what's going to make our box go together. So let me just push that down there. And I'm just going to pop off the carrying tape. I don't know, is that what you call that? Carrying tape? I think so. And fold this right over on itself. Actually, if I do it this way, it might be easier to line up. It's hard when it's so dark, you can't really see what you're doing. There, and I'm just putting that raw edge along that score line. There. So there's our little box. And so now I'm going to put a little bit of glue on these two tabs. And I could use tear and tape, but I want my box to be square. So if I have to maneuver stuff around a little bit, this will give me that option. And then I'm going to put a little bit of glue on here. And just fold that over and just smush it into place, beat it into submission until it's flat. And then I can take my bone folder and just push down those two inner little flaps. There, so there's our little box. Now I'm going to just push my finger in the middle between these two corners, and I'm going to push these two corners together. Okay, so now I'm going to take my 1/8 of an inch punch, and I'm going to put a hole kind of there, and another one there, and hope they're pretty even. Not bad. And that's just the 1/8 punch. I made a mistake and used a large, it was like a 3/8 punch. Maybe not 3/8, maybe a 1/4 of an inch. And it was way too big and my ribbon kept falling out. So, yeah, you want to use the smaller punch. There. Okay, so for the ribbon, now on the other one I used a pink ribbon, and I don't actually have any bubble bath ribbon. I'm going to have to order some. So I used this, looks like petal pink, and it's part of the Ribbon Duo combo pack. But for this one, actually this looks like petal pink. I don't know. But I'm going to put, I think for this one, I might use this lemon lime twist. I don't know if it's lemon lime twist or garden or a granny apple green, but whatever it is cute. So I'm going to go, let's see, I'm going to choose about that much, plus a little bit for the knots. So I need 2 pieces because I need them to both be the same length. And I'm going to pop them in from the outside and tie a little knot. And then do the same on the other side. There, so there's our little bag. I'm just going to fold down the sides a little bit more here. Oh my God, that's cute. So cute. Okay, so next I'm going to take some designer series paper. I could use that, or I could use this. Or I could use this. And I kind of actually, even though that is a little bit busy, you really only see a tiny bit. So I actually don't mind that. So let's go ahead and use that. And I'm going to take my little floral that I had earlier. And I'm just going to make sure it's clean. I think I did clean it earlier, but. And I'm going to stamp it in smoky slate because I want it to be sort of, I don't want the colors to be harsh. So let me go ahead and stamp it in smoky slate. Very cute. And then I brought out some blends, my Stampin' blends. So I have Bubble Bath, Granny Apple Green, and Old Olive. So let's do the dark Bubble Bath first. So I'm just going to highlight a few of the little areas here. that's very cute. So let's take the light. Because they're alcohol markers, they will blend themselves. Now the dark doesn't seem a whole lot darker than the light, but it does give you a bit of dimension there. Very cute. So let me take the light granny apple green. And I'm just gonna do the stems. Now, because they're alcohol markers, you barely have to touch the paper. So if you want a fine line, it's easier to get if you just use a very, very light touch. All right, and I'm going to use the light old olive and just do a little bit of shading here. Oh, that's so cute. And actually, I think I'll just use the light old olive in the middle of the flower too, rather than introduce another color. I could, but I don't think we need to. Isn't that just so cute though? Oh, love it. Okay, so let's get these out of here and we'll go ahead and glue that right down to our designer series paper. I have no idea where my dimensionals went, but I happen to have a little package of minis here, so let's just use that. That's so bizarre. I just had the darn things. Okay, and because I'm putting this on an angle, I just want to make sure that there, I think that'll be okay. Oh, maybe one more for this corner. This is so cute. There, so I just popped that up on dimensionals. And now we can go ahead and do a little bit of a greeting. And I'm just going to use one of these little flagged pieces that came with the kit. And what do we put on there? Let's see. You rise above the rest. Why not? That will fit on there. So let me grab a block. And what color will we do? Let's do Pretty Peacock. So you rise above the rest. And I feel like that maybe wasn't the best color choice, but that's okay. And then we can put that right on there. And I think what I'm going to do is just put a little bit of glue and just sit it right on there. Probably should have done that in Night of Navy, but you get my drift. Isn't that cute? So let's tidy up. So let me bring over some of the ones that we've already done. All right, so this was the first alternative that we did with using the front of that other card base. Isn't that beautiful? And then, so this is the original card that we did from the kit. I just love this. This didn't really, I wasn't excited about it when I first got it, but boy, I love it. And then this was the one with the removable little I always want to call it a lily, the little lotus flower in there. And we popped one in the inside there. That is so pretty. And then these alternatives this is the one that we made today. And then these were the ones that I made earlier when I thought I was recording and I wasn't. I can't believe just how technically challenged I seem to be lately. Good grief. And then this was one that I had done earlier. I couldn't figure out which one I liked better. But I think I think this one is my favorite. So these are the cards. And these were the boxes that we made. Oops. There. Isn't that cute? So I hope you've enjoyed this. Oh, before we go, two things. One is you still have until the 10th of September to subscribe. If you're not already a Paper Pumpkin subscriber, you can go ahead and subscribe until September the 10th. That's the last day to subscribe for the September Paper Pumpkin, which is a floral. And the kit includes 8 treat packages, 8 note cards with 8 coordinating envelopes, Lost Lagoon stamping spot, and 1 set of stamps, specialty gold foil pieces, and detailed die cuts. I can't wait to see this. And if you do decide, or you're already a Paper Pumpkin subscriber and you would like to purchase the add-on, there is an add-on. It is this journal. Now I haven't opened mine. I literally just took it out of the box because I wanted to see what it was like. So let's just open it up here. This is beautiful. Hardcover. And then these are all stickers that you can use in your journaling or on a card even. I would just pop them out and put them on a card. Aren't they beautiful? And then it's just like a journal. You can just journal away your life. I go in cycles. I journal for a little while and then I kind of forget about it. I'm really good for about a week and then I'm like, oh yeah, I should do that. Anyway, this journal, oh, it comes with, how many are in there? Just one, I guess. 2, a little gold paper clip so that you know where you are. This is very cute. You can put that on your page. This is adorable. Very beautiful. And this is, of course, a limited edition. And this is $21. And these are available starting now. They actually started to be available on August the 11th. And they're only available while supplies last. So if you think you would like one of these, you can go ahead and order one. And the part number is 163270. You can only order this if you are a Paper Pumpkin subscriber. So if you would like to have one, yeah, either subscribe or add it to your order if you're already a Paper Pumpkin subscriber. Oh, and the new mini catalog starts on, I think, September the 6th. Yeah. So it's available starting September the 6th. And my supply of catalogs just came in. If you've placed an order with me in the last 6 months, your catalog would have been delivered to you. I think this week I got messages from several people that they had received theirs. So if you didn't get it already this past week, you will probably get it in the next few days. If it doesn't show up by the end of next week, let me know and I can get one of these into your hot little hands. And or if you don't have a Canadian demonstrator, I'd be more than happy to become your demonstrator. And as I say, I have a supply of these catalogs. I'll be more than happy to either pop one in the mail or deliver one to your home if you're local. Let me know. So I hope you've enjoyed this my little tutorial here. Once again, if I can be of any assistance to you in placing an order or helping you with products you already have and don't know how to use, or you're uncertain about certain things, please reach out. I'm more than happy to be there for you. And if you do place an order between now and the end of August, if you wouldn't mind using my host code, I'd really appreciate it. If you're not a subscriber to my YouTube channel, please hit the subscribe button. And if you are, make sure that you hit the thumbs up. Oh, and by the way, thank you so much. I finally hit 300 subscribers, so I'm very happy about that. Thank you so much. It's not a big deal to a lot of people, but for me, hitting 300 is a milestone, and I really appreciate it. So have a great afternoon. We'll talk to you soon, and happy stamping.